TNT Sports College Basketball pregame presented by Vanda Pharmaceutical. I'm your host, Tim Doyle, alongside Jalen Rose, Jamal Mashburn, Coach Bruce Pearl. We got 2 games tonight in Big East, boys.
Let's get it.
St. John's in Queens taking on William and Mary. Then the second half of the doubleheader, Villanova and Duquesne, some Philly love. Let's talk about the Johnnies first.
Yeah.
They have not played a game, Mash, in 7 days. Rick Pitino was your college coach. Go back in the time machine, all right? 7 days, no games. What's practice been like?
Well, I played for Rick Pitino in the late 1900s at the University of Kentucky. And one thing I will say about him, his attention to detail of how they lost to Alabama. They couldn't stay in front of those guards, and they were fouling a lot as well. So, in my opinion, based on my history with them, practice was intense, competitive, as it always is, but the detail part of it on the defensive end, and he always worries about shooting and scoring. So I really think Coach Pitino is one of the greatest teachers of the basketball game for young men, and also how he develops guys individually to be a part of the collective.
They are a brilliant transition offensive team, but they were a pathetic transition defensive team against Alabama. So I guarantee you all week, they just worked on transition, stopping the ball, protecting the rim, no advanced passes.
Yeah.
And I bet you those players could hardly wait to get out of practice and get to William and Mary, because it's going to be a track meet tonight.
You know, interesting, Jalen. Last year, we knew who this team was. Defense, rebounding. Do we know who they are now?
Not yet. They're still searching for that identity. And you show Ejiofor at the beginning of the game, beginning of the show, and he's their anchor. And he's improved this game. He's the preseason player of the year in that conference. And Rick Pitino does a really good job of empowering his players.
Correct.
That's what I like, always being an opponent of his. I always liked his up-tempo. I always liked the fact that he empowers his players. And if you look at this squad, he has a lot of transfers. So now those guys understand you got to earn this NIL money. And you got to get out there and you got to have a big-time game tonight in response to a big-time loss that they had previously.
Well, Rick Pitino has won everywhere. You know it, I know it, the American people know it. He's the only coach in the history of college basketball to win 2 national championships at 2 different schools.
Great.
His first year at St. John's, Jenkins is balling right now for the Pistons, Jalen.
Yes, he is.
The transfer from Iona.
Big-time 3-shooter.
And then last year, tied for the most in school history, school wins, regular season title, tournament title, get into the NCAA tournament. And unfortunately, they could not make a shot there, lose to Arkansas. And now, you know, this is one of the all-time greats, Rick Pitino. But we got one of the all-time greats here, and Bruce Pearl.
Let's go.
Coach, life comes at you pretty fast, huh? Last year, you tied for the award, and now you see your name up there. What makes you think when you see that up there?
Look at me now, right?
Life comes at you fast.
Yeah.
Hey, I go back to 1978 with Coach Pitino. I was just a student manager at Boston College. He was right down the road at Boston University. And Calhoun, Tom Davis, and Pitino were all right there in town. Boston had no idea what they had. But at the end of my career, to actually be on the same stage with Coach Pitino, it was beyond special. He's the best coach I've ever gone up against.
Wow.
I'll tell you why. He knew exactly what I wanted to do and how to stop it. He knew what he wanted to do and how to stop it. He was in my head, and I've gone up against all of them. He was the best.
Yeah, I think Coach Pitino, from a player standpoint, what he provided for me, I've known Coach Pitino not since the 1970s, but since 5-Star Camp. And you remember 5-Star Camp, Jalen? When he was an instructor and he came over and gave his presentation. So he started with me early when he was at Providence. And the one thing that I liked about Coach Pitino was he was a listener of his players, and he always thought about his players' future. At the end of the day, I wanted to be a pro and carry a briefcase, and he helped me do both. Me and him became business partners afterwards and different things like that. But the one main thing was he told me 2 things my freshman year when we were doing individual instruction. Jamal, if you do these 2 things, you're a pro. Pound the ball harder and raise your elbow when you shoot, because your shot is flat. And we worked on that for the whole year and second year and everything like that. And he made me a professional basketball player.
And as an opponent of Coach Pitino, I played against him on every level, including when he got to the NBA. And I always admired him as a version of Pat Riley to me. Somebody that was about winning, somebody that loved their players, they invested in their team, they created a style of play that was unique to them, but they were fly, they were fashionable. And they understood that this is a big stage, and I'm going to not only have the intellect, but I'm going to look the part. And I always appreciated that.
You know what's interesting about what he said about I played for Pat Riley as well, the Miami Heat. They're the greatest people to be around when you're winning, but the worst people to be around when you're losing.
Yes.
You can ask for a max contract with Pat Riley. If you win, he'll give it to you.
You know who doesn't lose anymore? Zach in the end. We got no losses this year.
Yeah, if they didn't get me before, they didn't get me now.
Well, you mentioned Rick Pitino when you talked about the fashion. Remember the white suit?
Oh, yeah.
Killed him.
Oh, Andy Katz is live at the game. Andy, Coach Pitino, we're going to get a white suit today. We're going to get a red suit. You never know with him. How's it looking in Queens?
Well, first of all, let me remind Bruce, and I told Rick Pitino this earlier today. I was a BC camper when Tom Davis was the head coach. Bruce was there. And you know who came and spoke at the BC basketball camp? Rick Pitino, when he was the head coach at BU. Jim Calhoun was in Northeastern. He was telling a great story today how they would run past each other along the Charles River, hated each other during those BU Northeastern days. It's known him a long time, but what I really admire about Coach Pitino, and I know you all on the desk can appreciate this, he said today that everyone always asks him, when are you going to retire? He says, I'm going to retire when I stop learning. He continues to learn. When he coached in Greece, he absorbed so much knowledge about European basketball, the passing, the cutting. He says he watches mid-major, low-major basketball, always looking to learn. He continues to do that. That's what keeps him young. That's what keeps him loving this game and wanting to continue to contribute to the game. He always wants to learn.
Thanks, Andy. He's 73 years old, still doing it on the sidelines. It's amazing to watch. And
Well, what Andy just said is really the lifeblood of Coach Pitino. He's a learner, but he also wants to communicate and teach it. I went out to Panathinaikos in Athens, Greece, and watched him coach.
Right.
And he was the same exact coach when I coached him. A little bit mellower and different things like that because he was dealing with pros, but I can see where he evolved throughout the game. And when we're talking about the day and age of three-point shooting, Coach Pitino was doing that back in the 80s.
Absolutely.
With the Providence Friars and Billy Donovan.
And pressing in the NBA
Correct.
as a head coach. And one of the things I always appreciated about him, and you did this, Coach, Dr. Tom, who was also mentioned, did this. And now I get PTSD realizing that all of y'all were pressing, doing run and jump, and y'all made defense y'all identity and toughness the identity, and the other team had to adjust, or they're going to get up in your shorts.
well, St. John's going to have to adjust. Last out, they gave up 103, Coach, to Alabama. What did you see when you broke down that tape?
Well, first of all, as a basketball coach now calling games, I'm going to, tell Coach Pitino what he should have done to beat Alabama. Am I really going to go there? And I'm glad he's still learning because he got schooled against Alabama. It's hard to play fast against Alabama. First of all, you got to stop the ball. And they don't stop the ball. They don't protect the rim. Hopkins, number 23, should be in the midline right there. Instead, advanced pass, advantage Alabama. I think St. John's wanted to run. Now, Ian Jackson, he's trying to play point guard. I'm not sure he is. He makes the mistake right there. Stop. He makes the mistake right there. Turn the ball over. Watch the kid Williamson for 15. He runs to the corner, and Jackson doesn't go back and protect the rim. The ball was stopped. He compounded it by not going back and getting the rim. All right, we're going to go downhill. You got to play off 2 feet right here. Look how open Jackson. Stop it right now. Jackson's open in the corner. He wasn't too happy that the ball did not come back out from Sellers, and he doesn't sprint back. He jogs back defensively. I hate to be on him right here, but look, long shots, long rebounds against Alabama. You're going to get out. You've got to get behind the ball. Look at Alabama. It's now 5 out. It's 5 out. The ball gets reversed, and Aiden Sherrill, who's a big man that can shoot the basketball, I think when it comes to learning, I think if Rick Pitino had to do it over again, he'd have a choice. Do I want to get an attack meet in Alabama? Because if he played him a little bit more like Purdue did, be more physical with him, take a little bit more time off the clock against that particular opponent, I think St. John's wins the game.
Well, what's fascinating, Jalen, about this matchup is William and Mary, if you don't know, coming into this game is averaging 90 points a game. So Coach just talked about not getting in a track meet with Alabama. Nash talked about practice being hard all week. Now, all of a sudden, if you're St. John's, do you want to score 130 in this game? Or would you rather hold William and Mary, a team that's averaging 90, let's say to 60?
I don't want to bury the lead, but William and Mary in trouble tonight. let me just say that first and foremost. And usually a team that presses doesn't like to be pressed.
Correct.
But this is a unique case because that's what I mean about Rick Pitino. That's their identity. That's what they're going to practice every day. That's what they're going to do every shoot around. That's what they're going to do every game, or you're not going to play.
So, because, Mash, Rick Pitino's got to balance having the best portal class in the entire country. So it's not just Zuby, it's Bryce Hopkins, Zion Jackson. Other guys got to get their numbers. Do you expect them to score over 100 in this game, or are they trying to lock down defensively?
No, I think Coach Pitino is going to play to his style. Coach Pitino, well, first of all, William and Mary is not Alabama.
That's right.
You know, so they don't have the same type of guards that Alabama has, or the bigs that can stretch the floor and knock down shots. William and Mary will come at you in waves with 10 players, but they don't have the athletes. I think Coach Pitino doesn't want his squad to score 100 points. I think he wants to create offense off his defense and rebound the basketball and get back to the consistency of how they're going to play throughout the course of the season. So I think this is a bounce-back game, but this is more of important of staying true to what the identity is.
St. John's going to be St. John's.
Yeah.
Rick Pitino's going to be Rick Pitino. They just got to get better at it. This is going to be a fun game because William and Mary's not afraid to run. They're better at it. Both teams foul a lot. So the question is, will the officials let these teams play? And if they do, I think it should be really entertaining.
Oh, you mean let them play? So what ends up happening is there's a legacy thing here. And Jerry Tarkanian talked about this one time. He says when the NCAA gets mad at Kentucky, they put Cleveland State on probation. So you feel like a Rick Pitino coach team won't get the benefit of the whistle over William and Mary. That's definitely going to be the case tonight.
I mean, they're 29-point favorite tonight, St. John's. Do you expect them to absolutely
29?
steamroll? Is that too many?
Yes. Take the under.
You want to take that?
Take the under.
You think William and Mary keeps it close?
I'm just saying the 29 is just so much.
And I think Jalen's right with this day and age with the three-point shot and where you're able to accumulate points and cut deficits down. They'll stay in the ball game. I think at the end of the day, Coach Pitino wants to see a couple of things from his team, in my opinion. Deflections, rebounding, and physicality.
And turn them over a little bit.
Correct.
They got to turn William and Mary over a little bit.
Now, I was texting with Brian Earl, the head coach of William and Mary. Him and I played on the same Hoop It Up team for 3 summers as old man. It was just an excuse to get away from our wives.
I haven't heard of Hoop It Up.
Yeah, we were playing Hoop It Up together. Wow. So I texted him yesterday, and he said they sat on the tarmac for almost 4 hours. Does that affect the team, Coach?
Yeah, it just pisses them off. That's all it really does. I don't think it does. I think William and Mary will be excited about playing the game. They know that St. John's are going to hit them in the mouth. They've got some older guys. And so, I kind of hope they hang in there.
All right, well, William and Mary has lost 32 straight games in which has faced their team ranked in the top 15. Their last ranked win was in 1977 at home over Phil Ford and UNC.
Phew, I was 5 years old.
What was Bruce Pearl doing in 1977?
I was keeping a clipboard for Boston College.
That's actually not true. I looked it up. But you were the class president at Sharon High School in 1977-78.
What happened was...
Man, Jimmy Hoffa's buried somewhere in that hair. I'm telling you right now, back in the day.
Was there a lot of prep in that, or that you just rolled out of bed?
That was all natural. All natural. I mean, women paid a lot of money back in the day for that perm. That's, by the way, that's called a Jufro right there. That's what that was.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. You said it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now,
Stand on it.
Hey, y'all got that, bro. I got a Jufro. I had some game back then.
I had to cut my hair because the Kentucky people couldn't cut, so I had to go bald.
Amazing.